Hi Marlies, this is day 5 now of what to see in London, and of course one of our specialities has got to be heritage and culture, and of course it's the royal palaces like Buckingham Palace and St James's Palace. George III originally bought Buckingham House from the Duke of Buckingham in 1761 for his wife, Queen Charlotte, to use as a comfortable family home close to St James's Palace, where the court functions were held at the time. In 1762, work began on remodelling the house to the King's requirements, to designs by Sir William Chambers at a cost of £73,000. George IV, on his accession in 1820, decided to reconstruct the house into a pied-à-terre, using it for the same purpose as his father, George III. As work progressed, and as late as the end of 1826, the King had a change of heart. With the assistance of his architect John Nash, he set about transforming the house into a palace. Parliament agreed to a budget of £150,000, but the King pressed for £450,000 as a more realistic figure. Nash retained the main block, but doubled its size by adding 2 new suites of rooms on the garden side facing west. Faced with mellow Bath stone, the external style reflected the French neoclassical influence favoured by George IV. The remodelled rooms are the state and semi-state rooms, which virtually remain uncharged since Nash's time. Many of the pieces of furniture and works of art in these rooms were bought or made for Carlton House, George IV's London base when he was Prince of Wales, which was demolished in 1827. The north and south wings of Buckingham Palace were demolished and rebuilt on a larger scale with a triumphal arch, which is now Marble Arch, as the centrepiece of an enlarged courtyard to commemorate the British victories at both Trafalgar and Waterloo. By 1829, the costs had escalated to nearly £500,000. Nash's extravagance cost him his job, and on the death of George IV in 1830, his younger brother William IV took on Edward Blore to finish the work. The King never moved to the palace. Indeed, the Houses of Parliament were destroyed by fire in 1834. The King offered the palace as a new home for Parliament, but the offer was declined. Queen Victoria was the first sovereign to take up residence in July 1837, just 3 weeks after her accession, and in June 1838 she was the first British sovereign to leave from Buckingham Palace for a coronation. Her marriage to Prince Albert in 1840 soon showed up the palace's shortcomings. A serious problem for the newlywed couple was the absence of any nurseries and too many bedrooms for visitors. The only solution was to move to the Marble Arch part, and it now stands in the northeast corner of Hyde Park, and build a 4th wing, thereby creating a quadrangle. And of course, Marlies, just a short walk down from Buckingham Palace, down the Mall, is the Palace of St James, made famous in the past couple of years when Kate and William had George baptised in the surroundings. St James's Palace has been the setting for some of the most important events in royal history. Built largely between 1531 and 1536, St James's Palace was the residence of kings and queens of England for over 300 years. It has remained the official residence of the sovereign. High commissioners and ambassadors are still formally accredited to the court of St James for this reason. The palace was built by Henry VIII on the site of the Hospital of St James's, Westminster. Much survives of the red brick building erected by Henry VIII, including the Chapel Royal, the Gatehouse, some turrets, and 2 surviving Tudor rooms in the state apartments. So Marlies, heritage and culture is a very important part of London. So I hope you've enjoyed day 5 of the visit to London. Welcome to London with Buckingham Palace and St James's Palace. Okay, and I hope to see you again soon.